Brock's so fucking big. He's big in a way that even Shane is big in a different way. It's bizarre. Brock's even wider than Shane.
Yeah, they both. I mean, when you cut to make 265.
Yeah. Oh. Jesus. Yeah.
Man.
What is that?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they're still trying to figure out what Brock was, like they're trying to mount some sort of a defense. They're coming up with like skin cream now. They're saying skin cream made him piss hot. Guys are so hilarious.
Got Clomid in my fucking skin cream. I don't know what happened.
Well, what's funny is there actually was some sort of hormone peptide in the skin cream for psoriasis that Chad Mendes used. Chad Mendes has some pretty serious psoriasis. And there's all these photos of him. You could see him online where he's wearing shorts and shit, and it's just all over his legs. It's real bad. And you have to take, a lot of times you're taking what is essentially a steroid cream to try to heal the area. And that is what made him test positive. When they found the cream, they tested the cream, and I'm like, yep, sure enough. But it's a medication. So he has a legitimate, he has a real ailment. You see
but
his
he still
ailment.
has the service suspension.
He got the suspension anyway?
Oh, yeah, I believe so.
Fuck,
yeah, I believe so. Well, USADA's no fucking joke, man, which is really funny watching all these guys go over to Bellator. I think it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see what Bellator does with like Vanderlei and all these other guys that are going over there now.
Chael's first fight backs with Bellator. I started laughing as I saw it.
Of course.
Chuckled.
Well, Chael, Chael said that they're testing him like crazy.
Right.
But I mean, they might fucking send him a text message. Hey, yo, we're testing you like crazy in 3 days. Wink, wink. It's not
I think
USADA.
It's the Athletic Commission, right? It's not USADA.
No one's doing it the way the UFC's doing it. And the way UFC's doing it, in a lot of ways, it's dangerous to their brand. A lot of ways, it's a lot of people would say it's not a good idea financially, but it just shows their commitment to trying to clean it up.
I think California is doing randoms too now, just as the Athletic Commission.
The commissioner came here from Georgia, and he's
cracking down.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah.
I just think the problem with the USADA thing is that if your boss, the people that pay USADA to test is the UFC. I think it's like a conflict of interest at some level.
Yeah,
It should be a state sanction or somebody away from both parties.
Because who makes the choice on who gets tested? Who's assigning the test?
When you fail a drug test in California, for example, the California Athletic Commission is going to contact Bellator and say, this guy's not fighting, he failed a drug test. When you fail a test for USADA, they're going to call the UFC and be like, hey, so this guy failed the drug test. What do you want to do about it? And that becomes a problem.
Yeah, this guy's test shows he has cocaine in his system, and then he fights for a world
Let's just
title.
lose those results till after this main event.
Yeah, but that's different because it's out of competition. There's certain rules. Oh, what happened to him?
I think he got hit in the nuts.
I thought his knee buckled. I thought he got hit with a push kick to the leg. But I think there's out of competition testing, and then there's in competition testing. And when you get tested for something in competition, it's very different than out of competition when it comes to recreational drugs. But when it comes to performance-enhancing drugs, like even if it's out of competition, like say if you're 5 weeks out, you test positive for cocaine, that's not going to affect your performance in the ring in a way that's going to damage your opponent. But if you test positive for some sort of a steroid, then it will.
Makes sense.
It kind of makes sense.
It makes sense until you talk to Nick Diaz.
Well, that was just the most
USADA,
ridiculous shit.
Was that USADA?
No, that was the Nevada State Athletic Commission.
That's right.
Not only that, USADA and Nowitzki's 100% against it. He thinks it was ridiculous.
Well, that same fight, the Nick failed for that, and the Athletic Commission suspended Nick for 5 years. Anderson failed a drug test for steroids, and they had lost his results until after the fight.
Look at this knee buckle. Watch this shit.
That's what I'm talking about.
Did you see this?
Yeah.
Did you see that? How his knee just buckled there? That was awful. Yeah, it was horrible. Anderson was doing, well, I don't know if he was doing, but he had steroids in his system, right? For whatever reason. He said it's from Chinese Cialis, which is hilarious. It's fucking, I would like to see if someone should publish a list of all the excuses fighters have made for pissing hot.
That'd be really good. Make a T-shirt.
Yeah, right? Like a tour? Like a world tour T-shirt, have the back, all the different excuses. Liquid Cialis.
And Tim Sylvia failed for like Winstrol or something, and he said he was doing it just so his body would look better because he was getting so much shit about looking fat.
Yeah. Well, the Tim Sylvia that knocked out Rico Rodriguez was a monster.
Yeah.
You go back to that Tim Sylvia is one of the scariest heavyweights ever.
I think that was when he got popped. I think that was when he got popped.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I remember that fight because I remember he had a hard time making 265. He had to cut weight to make 265, and he wasn't fat at all back then. I mean, he wasn't shredded, but for Tim Sylvia, I mean, he was real lean.
Watching Tim Sylvia walk around, he doesn't look like an athlete. He doesn't look like he would have ever been a heavyweight champion in the UFC. But man, he hits hard.
Oh, fuck yeah. Well, dude, I talked to Kelly Starrett about that, who's, a real famous strength and conditioning coach and knows a lot about physiology. And he thinks that, he thinks that Tim Sylvia, that pigeon-toed thing that he did, he thinks that's correctable. He's like, you just got to retrain your body how to walk and stand. And for some reason, he never did that. But Starrett really believes that. Like, the mechanics of your body, like, you've kind of been cut into a groove where your body's gotten accustomed to walking and standing in that way. But if you adjusted that and trained that, he would be a way better athlete. And he would move like, like a Travis Brown or something like that, who's a big, tall guy who moves great.
Yeah, but, I mean, as a grown man, you think he can retrain? I understand
you
can do it, but
if he wanted to,
it takes a lot of effort.
I mean, I listen to Kelly. I think Kelly knows what the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's right, but I mean, I would imagine there's something to
short
that.
of him having some like scar tissue or whatever that forces him to walk that way. I think he could change it, but I don't think it's likely that a grown man who's already been successful is going to be like, I wish I could walk a little less goofy. Let me fix this here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what makes you walk pigeon-toed. Jamie, pull that up.
Tim Sylvia goes and fixes his walk, and next year we see him in the NFL.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about all that. The last thing, I think that dude needs to get hit more.
Hit in the head more, yeah.
Yeah, that Ray Mercer fight.
Oh.
That was the end of all that.
Oh. Ooh, that was a nice.